welcome. These are horse racing selections for Thursday, the 12th of October. I am Flat Cap Callum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. Alright, we've started the week on a positive footing. That is exactly what you'd like to have. We were one short of making it a very nice day, but the elusive £100 return days are being a challenge this year. Last year, I think we hit 10. 5 of them in the last 3 months of the year. We were in the last 3 months of the year. We've only hit 2 this year, albeit we've done videos on a lot less days. So by my reckoning, we are definitely due a couple of £100 days before now and Christmas. We never rode. I would say we're definitely due, and we were one leg short. There's been a number of times we've been one leg short. It always seems to be the last leg of these ones sometimes, rather than the first leg goes down, the next 3 goes in. That seems to be a rarer occurrence. But what do we have for Thursday? I've got 4 bets, 26.50, so it's about a stake and a quarter in terms of average day stake for the channel is 20. We were 21.50 what Wednesday, so a smidge over, £5 more. So we've got 2 more races and 1 more selection. So I think it works out as 11 races, 13 selections for Thursday. There are a couple of races that I'd imagine people would expect me to be getting involved in that I'm not. I didn't like the big field race at Exeter. Didn't like a read of that at all. I've left out the sprint handicap. I think it's the 5.15 at the Curragh. Another decent field size one, but I didn't have a strong feel, and the real shorty sprint ones and stuff. Just wasn't as keen. So I've left those out. So we've got quite a bit stacked on Curragh. I've got 1 horse at Tramore, 2 at Ayr. And then we've got a Chelmsford bet and nothing on the jumps. So I've left the jumps. It was 1 borderline win horse, which I wasn't going to worry about including in. I was happy with the rest of the selections. We've ratcheted up price for Thursday. So if you compare Wednesday to Thursday, we've got a slight bit more going on with price. So there's a fair few more overall, definitely weightier bets is what I would say. Alright, so before we do that, got to do the review of Wednesday. So Wednesday we started off nice. All bets, to be fair, started off with something. So this one was 4-1 by the time I uploaded the video. So we took 4-1 for the channel. I think the SP was 4-1 as well. So 250 return. So we had a win, a second, and then a disappointment really. So almost money back on bet 1. And then bet 2, we started off with Cliff Top snagging 5th, which paid out for everybody. So I said I thought it was a solid horse, but sadly I couldn't get anything else with it. Callisto's King turning in looked not bad and then faded. Nazim never really got involved and was a huge drifter. And then Fravanco the other way around was a huge shortener and wasn't really close. So there was just a little bit back for Cliff Top each way, so that was one of the each way singles, 50p each way single on Cliff Top, so £1.50 or something like that back for bet 2 if you were on channel stake. And then bet 3 was my main bet, which did the damage. So 4.15 Kempton Giant. I was really pleased with that. That race panned out exactly as I hoped. Neil Callan got across, got up with the pace, got to the front, and then it was only the short price favourite that beat it. It was a big drifter. I think in the mornings, I think Wednesday morning, you could have got 25s on that. 20s was the SP, so anyone who's back in that with Bog would have done much better than the channel. So nice to have a day where best price guaranteed is winning out, because it doesn't happen often recently. We're normally talking about Sky Bet winning out. So 12s for the channel, but 20s was the SP. Last hurrah that got backed in, but 11-1 for the channel. And then Renardo, which was my value play for the day, held on for 4th. And the only major bookmaker who didn't pay it, I think, was Betfair. All the others that I would normally track on here paid out for 4th place, and that 7.30 Kempton. Betfair were the ones that did not. So I'm sorry if you were a Betfair user on this bet. So 33 is what I took for the channel. So it's 40 when I did the vids. It was 50 on 365. So if you were on 365 and you managed to snag the 50s, you'd have done really nicely out of that one. And then Safe Passage. I did send the vid last night and run for 5-6 months. I'd obviously forgotten the fact there was an actual year there. It was about 15, 16 months it hadn't run for, but clearly wasn't quite up to getting up there after that long break. And it was the riskiest one of the bet. It wasn't the biggest price of the bet, but it was the riskiest one. But I felt like it was worth chancing given the context of the race, but it did not pay off. So 3 places and then a dot. So a nice return on bet 3. And then the combination double, we had a place in each leg, which turned us a nice profit. So I say nice profit, I mean not a huge amount of money, but in terms of actual percentages, it was a decent bet. So Last Hurrah and Ronaldo, so the top horse in each bet, placed. So that was all right. So I got it as 21.50 on, 43.97. So roughly about double money for the day. So yeah, so a nice start to the week. So we were up about £22 roughly speaking. So roughly up about 25 for the month. Which is a nice place to be, but we are putting 26.50 on the line for Thursday. So if it all goes terribly, we could actually end up on Thursday minus £1 for the month if it all goes that badly. So what have we got for Thursday? I would say the thing to flag as well, because the prices are bigger, what that's meant is I've got a bigger amount of money than I can if you compare to Wednesday going on to singles. The actual multiple bets are in a similar vein. There's one extra double bet I've done, but and there's obviously there's no win Trixie. Well, not obviously, but there is no win Trixie. So there was all each way bets for Thursday, but I've got more going on singles. So whereas there was a bit of 50p wins and 25p each ways on Wednesday, there's quite a lot more 50p each ways, and so those have added up. So that's why we've got to 26.50. All right, bet one, main bet for the day is this, and those of you regularly know that usually if I've got at least 4 races in a meeting, I like to stick it together, and the reason for that is I think if you read the course form well and you get the weather right and the draw right on the right day, you tend to find these things flowing. And last year, some of our best days, that's exactly what happened. So we hit Kempton and Chelmsford, our two really, really nice days where we hit 3 winners. They were in a consecutive row at each of those meetings. What I've done here at the Curragh is I have got 4 races, but I've put in the Tramore horse in this bet because I liked it more than my last selection in the Curragh, because I say that because the only reason is the last race I've got at the Curragh is the 4:45 at the Curragh, which is amateur jockey race, and it's an extra variable you need to account for because you can't always know in those races what the level of ability is and how different jockeys are going to deal with different situations, because it's a busy field. So what I've done in here is I have gone against my grain in some respects, and I've not put the 4:45 the Curragh. I've put the 2:35 Tramore because I liked it better. So all that said and done, 2.25 the Curragh, Sing on Glaze 20s, that's a great price. I'd have that at 10s, 11s, maybe something like that. So anything above that is a decent price. It is a really big field race. Sky are 6, most bookies are 5, but 20s is a far bigger price than it should be. 2.35 Tramore Duke Otto. It's always an unknown when you're backing a horse that's sort of on these tracks that you don't get so much racing in, like Tramore. But I think ground is in its favour, and I like the jockey booking. The last 2 times that jockey rode it on a similar distance were its 2 best runs. The last time out it ran on a similar distance with a different jockey, it wasn't so good. So it's Noonan's on it, I think, claiming 5. So I think that one is a competitively handicapped horse at a much bigger price, because if you were looking at bare form, if you weren't looking at and paying attention, the form doesn't look very good, but you actually pick out the races where it ran on a similar distance, on a similar going, with the same jockey, you actually look and the horse looks handicapped well. 3 o'clock the Curragh, that's my preferred race. I've got 2 biggies in that one, and this one's my favoured, but the smaller price. I've got a bigger price as well. But 3 o'clock Curragh, KD's Magic at 40s. And then we finished off the 4:10 the Curragh, Blackberry Jack at 16s. The watch out here is there's only 5 of the major bookies paying 4th on that one, which are listed above. So Sky are best because they're offering you 6 there. So I think 6, 5, 5 and 4 for Sky. Then 365 and Paddy and Betway are the same because they are offering 5, 5, 5545. I think that sounds right. So 365 and Paddy second best, Betway third best, fourth best, because they're the same as 365 and Paddy, but you won't get best price guaranteed. And I've snuck in Coral. So Coral are 4 there, but there is one of these races, I think it's the 235. I think you can only get 4th on Coral, so it's a bit of a watch out. So the top 4 bookies are where you want to be. It's a 20p each way Yankee, and then we've got 50p each way singles on all of them. So that's all 4 50p each way singles. And I've got an additional double. It's on the early 2 races. So if we can get those 2 framing in the first 2 races, then we've got most of our money back for the day. If they go awry, then we've got other things to rely on. But we're sort of stacked on the 2 early ones in that regard. So the 2 early ones, Sing on Glaze, Duke Otto, we can get them in top 5, both of them. Then, yeah, we've almost got money back with the rest to go. That's bet 1. All right. Mixed up my papers now. Bet 2, I've got 2 Curragh 2 Air. 3 o'clock Curragh, Light Up the Sky is my second choice in that race at 66. There's definitely bits of form that says that one's massively overpriced. But, you know, we're talking about low grade handicaps. There's no guarantees in these things. And with the Curragh, on any given day, you can get the draw. The draw can switch and you can get it completely wrong. So we'll see how we go. 355 Air, Be Proud, 16 to 1. I think the going's in that horse's favour. 445 the Curragh, Tassayad. So that's the one I've left out of the main Curragh bet, purely because it's an amateur jockey race and the jockey's never ridden under rules before. So not, you know, he could be great, he could be bad, I don't know. But I actually think that horse is much better handicapped than suggested, and it will get overlooked by quite a few because it's not been a horse that's framed. Certainly in recency, it's not been that, but actually from a handicap mark, I think it's handicapped quite well, and the yard are pretty shrewd in some of these races. So yeah, it's one of those ones. If it gets backed in much shorter than that price, that tells me the money's down for that horse in the right places. If it doesn't get backed in, I wouldn't worry necessarily, but I don't see regular punters latching onto Tassayad. So yeah, I think if it gets shorter, that's the right sort of money on it. And then the 540 Air Highlighter, 14 to 1, 20p each way Yankee. Again, all 50p each way singles on those ones. And then place terms wise, we've got 6 bookies paying the same places on this one. So 365 Paddy and Coral, you'll get best price guaranteed in the morning. And then Sky, Betfair, Betway, they are the next best. So all 6 of those will give you the same place terms at the time of making this video, but the top 3 give you best price guaranteed, so they're preferable. That's bet 2. Bet 3, combination double. So I've got my 2 biggies in the 3 o'clock Curragh, and I've not put them with the big field one. I've not put them in an extra place race. I've put them with the 5:30 Chelmsford. It's just what I think. So 3 o'clock Curragh, Katie's Magic and Light Up the Sky. So they're the 2 biggies. I think definitely worth having a bit of a punt on them too. And then the 5:30 Chelmsford, Cry Havoc's very, very overpriced at 28s, and Roman Dynasty should be single figures at 11s. The flag on those is there are three or four bookies paying 33s and 12s at the time making this video, but it was I don't want to kind of take advantage of that when I've got to make a video and upload it and whatnot. So I thought those ones could get nibbled in within the time I made the video, so I want to err on the side of caution. So most people will comfortably, if they can shop around, get 33s and 12s for those 2. 4 times 25p each way doubles. Sky best, because Sky are the only bookies offering 4 there, and everybody else is 5 in that 3 o'clock. So it's 5 and 3 for most, 5 and 4 for Sky. £2 is your bet. And then finishing off at Chelmsford, I've got a split leg Yankee. I haven't been doing very many of these recently. It used to be a bit of a common feature, but haven't done so many. 5:30 Chelmsford, the 2 that are in the combo double, Cry Havoc and Roman Dynasty. Going on to the 6 o'clock Hurricane Kiko at 25s, 6:30 Cuban Breeze, and we're going to stick with an old favourite that that's a regular in the channel. It's done us some favours before. It's been out of form, but it absolutely can pop up. It's on the right handicap mark to pop up. So if the race pans out from a point of view of it being able to, you want a fast pace so it can come and close at the end. That's what you want. Sometimes at Chelmsford it doesn't quite work out. The front runners just take off and don't get pulled back in. But if there's a bit of a bun fight up front and they go too fast, Jamura Bridge closing from the back is what you want. So that's 10-1. 2 times 10p each way, Yankees. So we've got a Yankee, Cry Havoc in those 3, and then Roman Dynasty in those 3. So 2 separate 10p each way, Yankees. We've got 50p win singles on the 3 shorter prices, and 50p each way singles on the 2 bigger prices, Cry Havoc and Hurricane Kiko. Takes you to 690. Clear one with this one, and I was worried about it Wednesday, but we were fine. We didn't have any 5th places. This one, every bookmaker, apart from Sky, is standard terms 3 places on all 4 of these races. So any bookmaker, you're getting no extra places here at this Chelmsford bet. Sky are paying 4 places on all of them. I mean, I'll be very, very surprised if we don't hit at least 1/4 place out of those 5 selections the way that I pick them. So we'll see. 690 is the bet. So if you've got Sky, definitely use it for that one. Definitely use it if you've got it. If you haven't, then get yourself on a bog bookie. So that is bet 4. So that's our 26.50. A couple of other bits I wanted to talk about. Mention the golf. The golf bets were in the comment from the last video. It was 5 players in the singles. We've got no one actually early doors in the Open d'Espagne. Our 2 players are out in lunchtime. Then we've got in the US, we've got Hall out in the afternoon, and then Buckley and Naismith in the evening. So no golfers for us out early doors in the plan. And then there was a really interesting question that Richard posed in the comments, which was, what's the difference between variance and luck? And I thought, the more I thought about it, I thought, that's what a brilliant question that is. What is the difference between variance and luck? So luck, most people understand luck. So when we talk about luck here, unlucky, lucky. Lucky is you get some things on your side of the fence, and unlucky on the other side of the fence. I'll talk on here about us being unlucky, quite a few times. And when I mean unlucky, I think for me unlucky is you have an over-index of the marginal decisions not going your way. Now you could argue on today or on Wednesday selections, we had 2 4th places when we were paying 4 places, and 1 5th place paying 5th place. Therefore, I'd say we were on the lucky side there because we were on the right side of the fence, because there was very slim margins between placing and not placing in those races. So we were on the lucky side, but I wouldn't normally say it like that. I'd normally say that we're on unlucky when we have too many of those go the other way. So maybe the answer is it's open to interpretation. Variance is basically, I know statistically what percentage of horses should make the frame and what I've got to hit in order to turn a profit. And if you do it over a longer period of time, I know what it is. So some people talk about variance. There'll be certain days where it doesn't quite go your way. You don't get the calls because you've got bad variance. When it goes your way, you've got good variance. Overall, it levels itself out. It's variance up and down, but we're trying to hit a certain point. So what's the answer? What's the difference between lucky and variance? My view is I think it depends on the individual and how they would describe it. I actually don't think there is much difference. The only time I ever think we're unlucky is generally when we get too many of those marginal decisions not going our way in a short space of time. So people would say that's bad variance. Some people would say it's bad luck. What I know is when we're due and when we're not due. If you want to have an expressive view, what do you think? What's the difference? Lucky and variance. At some point, if we hit a massive win, does that mean we're lucky? Or does that mean we've got good variance? I don't know. If we're having a really, really bad year, is that because we're unlucky or because we've got bad variance? Or because I've just got shite tips, which you can make your own answer for that one. I'm sure there'll be a mixed view. I thought it was a very interesting question. Thanks, Richard, for raising that one. Much debate in my head about the answer to that one, and I haven't got a clear one. So that is me. I think I shall be back tomorrow for Thursday night for Friday night racing. I say Friday night, it's Friday racing. We have got a bit of Dundalk. Dundalk's not been going well the first few meetings of the Dundalk season. So we're hoping for a bit of a change of fortune. Outside of that, the other field sizes have reduced down a bit. So I'm not sure how busy it's going to be on Friday. We'll see. And then Saturday, we're still slightly waiting to see what's left with field sizes outside the Sarajevo. Sunday's fixtures are in now, and it's looking like there will be a few interesting handicaps at Ireland. So I'll keep a bit of a watching brief on that one. It's debatable whether I do an extra bonus video or I might put a couple in the description. I shall see. But the UK racing on Sunday is probably not something I'll get massively involved in. All right, I am going to finish there. Thank you very much. I will see you on the next video. That's me. Bye bye.